Don't be nervous. We got it. Take a deep breath.
Deep breath. Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi. So Leanne and I, we both have had a little bit of a hiatus.
Yeah.
Oh, I have something open.
Oh.
Sorry about that. Anyway, so we both have had our own things going on, and we're excited to be with everyone this Friday before the weekend to catch up on some of the crazy things that have gone on the docket. At least today's been a lot more quiet than normal. I feel like normally when me and Leanne stream on a Friday, all of a sudden, like, all these filings come in. But so far it's been really quiet. So at least we can catch up. And Leanne, where do you want to even start?
Oh, well, firstly, I'm going to say hello to everyone in the chat. And thank you to my moderators for showing up as well. They're amazing. I've got one question. I already had it. I got it started already. Where is it? I've lost it. Bear with me. Sorry. I'm just going to. Oh, here we go. From Girly. And the owl. There's a story behind that. It's just a really short one. I have a 5-year-old little girl, and she loves. She likes little owls. So I wanted something for the channel as well, which was a bit of a mascot for intellect and teaching and so on and so forth. And I was a bit inspired by the owl Archimedes from Sword in the Stone, and the Duolingo owl. So I spoke to Eiko Ishiwata, Breck McDowell's wife, and I asked her to design something, an intelligent looking owl with a pair of glasses on that would just kind of appear in the thumbnails, and it will eventually get its own little animated sequence. So that is Newton, my owl.
Well, that's very cute.
Yeah, I've made for my little girl.
Well, we already have a question do you see from Max Rebo? It says,
just wrong. This one.
Yes. Do you both think the Lively declaration will be unsealed partially or not? I do not have faith in Liman's decision.
Yeah, I don't have much faith in him either. However, personally, I think I hope that he will actually unseal it. I think he will, because Wayfarer have agreed to, half of her argument is about the identity and protecting the identity of the declarant, and Wayfarer have agreed to keep redacting the name and the project that person worked on.
Yeah,
so, and at the end of the day, I mean, I thought their argument was very good. If the recording was made, if the audio was recorded without the consent of Steve Sarowitz, then that's potentially an issue.
I thought it was interesting they didn't even say what state it was recorded in.
No.
Because at least then we'd have some sort of idea if it was even legal what they did. But either way, I mean, yeah, they can't just take, certain quotes. And the way Ellen said it was to make sure it was there was no misquotes or something like that.
Yeah.
Because you constantly do that. So it's show it all, reveal it all via transcript.
I think even if the judge doesn't unseal it, the fact that Wayfarer said, look, we've got nothing to hide, she's taken these quotes out of context. There is context there. Unseal it. We're happy for her to do that. It's like the bluff they called with the do you remember with that letter sheet?
Production.
Yeah, exactly. So they're doing the same thing again. It's actually quite clever. I mean, for context, use of covert recordings in lawsuits. Now, I can only really kind of speak from the UK perspective. It is allowed in the UK for context, but one, it has got to be relevant, and we're already hitting a problem there if this person if the concerns around a verbal abuse situation between this person and Justin Baldoni was an entirely different project.
Yeah.
And we already know, like they're saying, well, it's verbal abuse, and someone's perception of verbal abuse is subjective. So
And
the fact that they're saying
they haven't even proved, it doesn't prove anything was founded.
It proves nothing about Lively's case. So it's I don't feel it is overly relevant, but we don't know everything that was said. So there is that. The other reason that it wouldn't be allowed in the UK, for instance, is if it was obtained illegally. And here in the US, some states are, we've seen it before, like California is a two-party consent state.
Yep. And New York, remember when Andy, when they were on Minat, or who was it? Ezra was made the fit about Andy saying that he recorded her office like without consent, when he specifically said, I am recording this call, and they stayed on the line. So it's just funny that like the people who are complaining about Andy's recording them now, and with your subpoena, when you were going to meet and confer, like they told you how many times that you can't record it.
There was 4 different emails from 3 different lawyers all telling me, right, that it's illegal to record it. Please confirm you're not going to record. Please confirm there will be no one else in the room. And it was just like a whole, it was, please confirm you will not be in public. And it was almost paranoia, really.
You won't be in public. That's crazy. I mean, you can be wherever you want to be. If you're calm with it, about your subpoena, and like me and you were speaking before the stream, like who do you think it is? And because I'm still on the Liz Plank, mountain, like I think it's her, but I also think maybe I just don't like her. And I can't get past thinking like who would do something like this, because it's obviously, to me at least, it's obviously a setup. Like whoever it was doing this, in my opinion, on behalf of Blake and Ryan, because they went in there and recorded this. And they also somehow brought up Blake and Ryan in order to get, to bait Sarowitz into saying something about them. So I don't know. And I don't know. There's been a lot of good theories. I've seen Ashley's video about that other actor. I don't know.
Yes, I've seen some people speculate about, I don't know if it's like a photographer or something from, I can't remember the name of the series now, it's gone from my mind, but the series that Justin Baldoni did of people with terminal illnesses. I don't think it would be that guy, because I'm aware people have said, there was something he posted on Reddit, where he sort of said Justin Baldoni wasn't nice, like he was awful to work with, etc. And people also picked up the fact that this guy follows Ryan Reynolds and is followed by Ryan Reynolds on Instagram. But that project, I'm pretty sure it was like, it was before the filming of the movie. So therefore, I don't see, I don't know, unless there was another project that he was working on, which wouldn't make sense, because if he was so unhappy
and then
during the first one, why would he come back?
And the chat has some good comments, like Rose Wild said, why didn't Blake have to turn over that evidence or identity of that witness to Wayfarer? They have been stating that stuff from Sarowitz since December. Actually, sorry, Rosewild, that was a different comment. The comment you said after that this one, where you said that you think that Blake and Ryan had them record it also, and this would have been before the lawsuit, and it proved they planned it. I think you're right. That's what it felt like. The declaration and the memorandum, it felt like this wasn't a smoking gun. Like it felt like it was, if anything, it showed that Blake and Ryan had set them up, like it felt planned for sure. And in my opinion, but to bait them to say that certain thing and to go in there recording and then to give it to Blake and Ryan. I mean, obviously in August 2024, who was close with Blake and Ryan around that point. And I don't know if this makes a difference or not, but I think it was the declaration, you know how normally it said like it had both like the lawsuit header and the counter lawsuit, which has been dismissed now. So it makes me think that this was made a long time ago and they're just bringing it back now for some reason.
Yeah, it could be. Without, and this is what I think Wayfarer were trying to say as well, without context, it's misleading. We don't have enough information, and what they're saying is release this information. And her second argument about why it shouldn't have been released was, well, it's going to cause a media frenzy. But to be honest, we're all doing that anyway. We're all sitting here trying to guess who it is. What was it they were talking about? What project were they working on? So, that horse is bolted.
And then Joe says, is that recording admissible? If it was illegally obtained, I don't know.
If it was illegally obtained, it shouldn't be. It wouldn't be in the UK. I can only compare like the UK because I haven't gone away and looked at all of that. So I can't just, and it's not something it's not, obviously I'm not working in America. So I couldn't, it won't roll off my tongue like it would with someone like NAG, but I would, if it was obtained illegally, I can't see why that would be admissible.
Because where is Steve Sarowitz's office? Is it in Illinois where he has a home, or is it?
It's in Wayfarer. It could well have been in California, but yeah, potentially Illinois.
My gosh! And then Marie G424 says, you would think the entire declaration would be inadmissible because what the F does it have to do with SH and that it ends with us? And that's the other part of it. Is like, even if it was like obtained illegally, what does it have to do with anything? Like a different project talking to, like someone said something that's has been not even been founded, and it doesn't make any sense. And I guess like, because I was reading this, Rolling Stone article about, it was obviously from Blake's team about how this supposedly is an example that he was going to pay for a smear campaign or retaliation campaign. And I was like, I don't see that either.
No, I don't either. I've seen a few people sort of say, why are Wayfarer not wanting, happy to not have the identity disclosed? And I think Haley makes a good point here. I'm pretty sure that Steve Sarowitz knows exactly who he spoke to.
Oh, no, exactly.
I have no doubt about that. I think Wayfarer know.
Oh,
but
for sure.
Also, by it's quite clever what they've done. Sorry, by agreeing to continue to protect the identity, they've weakened Lively's argument to seal everything. So they are given with they're giving some to Lively, but they're saying, well, this bit here, Lively has got some front really to complain about, privacy concerns of the individual, the declarant, when that person recorded Steve Sarowitz without his knowledge, without his consent.
Yeah, he's the one who should
no
be
one's considered his privacy here.
Yeah, and they are just like, every time Wayfarer is just like, reveal it all, like, unseal it all. They have nothing to hide. It just seems like they have nothing to hide. Whatever this is, it doesn't seem related. It seems ridiculous. And you would think they would give the full context on, Lively would have to begin with, just to show that like this was a clear proof of retaliation, and it's not.
And that's one thing again, like, us content creators who were subpoenaed now can say, because we now have the first-hand experience that Lively and or her legal team definitely misrepresent things. They cherry pick things
all the time,
take things out of context. They have literally done it to us. So now I'm not going to sit here with that. It's no, I'm no longer sitting here trying to think of a way to say that, make that kind of a statement and not sound like I'm just being biased. I've been through it personally, and I can say definitively they absolutely did that to me. They did it to Lauren and Cassidy and Ken and Ashley. So They do cherry pick, and that is exactly why Steve Sarowitz wants it all out there.
But also, if it was obtained illegally, because they've been using this quote for a while, I'll bet
Yeah.
like only a really chopped up version of it. So now they're trying to give the bigger version of it. But wouldn't the lawyers have said that they need to stop like using that or bringing that up if it had been obtained illegally? And you know what I mean? Like that's not this admissible. So, but they've been using it this whole lawsuit, and this is the first time Wayfarer said anything, because it is in response to the 47.1 treble damages. But yeah, what Tiffany said right here, she said, I think if it was a two-party record state, Wayfarer would have stated that. So it leads me to believe they recorded in a one-party state. I mean, either way, if it was inadmissible, like for this, it should have been inadmissible this whole time. Like it should have been called out when they first were bringing this quote up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And hence Homestead's right. It could be the Sony lady. We don't know. We'll probably find out at some point. But
do you think we'll find out, or do you think they'll just say it's not?
Well, if this person goes on to be a witness at trial, we will find out. Yeah.
I mean, that's the best she has to ask for treble damages. That's a lot of money. That's means whatever millions of she spent on the lawsuit, the dismissed countersuit, all of that, plus just, and then it could end up being in the 50 plus $1 million that they're asking for. And that is the evidence that they're using. It's so stupid. It just seems so ridiculous and desperate.
Oh, well, exactly. And Tiffany's saying, if I think if it was two-party record state, Wayfarer would have stated that.
Exactly.
I've actually, so obviously Wayfarer is based in California, which is a two-party record consent state. However, I have, whilst we've been sort of chatting here, checked on Illinois as well, just because I think that's a good point. And that is also two-party consent state. So,
oh, wow. So California, New York, and Illinois. What about New Jersey?
Oh, let's have a look.
I mean, this case is so insane.
No, it's not.
It's not a two-party?
No, New Jersey is not.
So, I mean, maybe this was, but,
Well, no, because It Ends With Us was filmed in New Jersey.
Yeah, and they stopped filming,
and this was a different project, apparently.
It was a different project. And also, in August 2024, I mean, they were done filming It Ends With Us. So,
yeah,
it wouldn't make sense to be there. Wow. And then Joe said, but how would this help Blake with the retaliation part? Well, they're saying, I mean, I guess their argument is that somehow this is Steve Sarowitz admitting that he's going to pay to retaliate, which that's not how it seemed to me. I mean, the exact quote was something like, oh, here, I actually have it here. Wait, this was from August. Oh, sorry. No, that was a different part of it. But do you want me to pull it up? The exact quote.
Which one is it?
What they're saying was said that proves the retaliation.
Oh, okay. One sec. Find it. I also agree with this comment as well. Jane, Nag said it shouldn't be allowed. And to be honest,
she did.
Yeah, and if it, the way it sounds like it's been obtained, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, me too. But they kept using it. They've kept using this Hamas quote. Okay, so here I just found it.
Oh yes, the bodies.
Okay, so it goes. So I'm reading from the New York Times, or not the New York Times. It's the Rolling Stones. Of course, I don't even see it in here. Did they edit this?
I'm not. I don't know. I've not read New York Times. No, I'm saying New York Times. Rolling Stones.
Well, it just says specifically they claim Sarowitz confessed during the August 2024 meeting that if Lively and her husband, the actor Ryan Reynolds, quote, ever crossed the line, ever, then I will go after them, end quote. He purportedly declared, quote, I will protect the studio like Israel protected itself from Hamas. There were 39,000 dead bodies. There will be 2 dead bodies when I'm done, minimum. Not dead, but you're dead to me. So that kind of dead, but dead to a lot of people. If they ever get me to that point, then I'll make it worth their while because I'm going to spend a lot of money to make sure the studio is protected, end quote. So that, there you go. So like that is the main chunk of this quote. And even that, he's just saying, like that's not admitted, that's not proof of a smear campaign.
Yeah.
This is in private. This is not like him confirming anything with anyone. And like, okay, I'll give a kind of a crazy example. Like I had my grandfather who's now passed, but at one point, like there was a break-in at his house and I get there and the police are there and they have their body-worn cameras. And I'm like, I was so heated when I showed up and I was like, oh my God, if that guy's still in here, I'm going to kill him, you know, but like, obviously I'm not going to kill him. Like,
no, and that's important though, because it's the condition, right? Because that's a conditional quote.
Mm-hmm.
Same in the UK again, kind of bring it back. Like, you know, in the UK, if you make a threat, but it's you say, well, if you know, if he says my name once more, I'm going to punch him.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer a threat. You know, someone cannot be intimidated by that and consider that like assault. They can't feel threatened by that because there's a condition attached to it which takes the sting out of it. So, you know, and what Sarowitz is saying is if they cross the line, well, he's conditioning that. He's not saying I'm going to do this. He's saying if they do cross the line, whatever he means by cross the line, and I don't know.
Yeah, and he said he's going to protect his studio.
He'll
spend a lot of money to protect his studio. And if people like look up the, you know, this studio, Wayfarer, him and Baldoni founded it with the idea of making movies for good. They wanted to like make movies that would change the world in a positive way. So it's like, yeah, he's going to protect this because in his mind, this was not supposed to be one of the Hollywood machine studios. This was going to be studios that did movies that like we need in the world and out there that would resonate with people in like a good way. Yeah. And then, so like him saying he's going to protect it seems like a good thing. You know, it's everything that they're trying to do, I think is failing. And at this point, I just can't tell if they're banking on like either Liman just being so incompetent and biased that, or in my opinion, you know, that he's just going to do whatever they say, or if this is all for PR at this point, because they clearly don't have anything.
I'm going to kind of interject here and just throw something back, but the way, even with the wording, right, which, you know, when you go past the 2 dead bodies bit, right, it becomes such a word salad where he's like, yeah, but I don't mean it like this. I mean it like that, you know, and he's really going out of his way to make sure no one takes him literally. Like, I don't literally mean I'm going to kill him. I mean, you know, blah, blah, blah. They're dead to me.
Yeah.
It becomes such a word salad. Like, again, that's the second reason why it's not really a threat. But how is this saying, you know, well, if you cross the line, if you do anything to harm my studios, I will protect it. How is that any different to her text to Justin Baldoni with her dragons?
And also, he was saying like his studio, right? He's not. Yeah. So he's like, if you come at my studio. So this was in August. She didn't file her SH whatever, right? Until, what was it, October?
Yeah.
So this was before that. So how is it retaliation? Is it premeditated retaliation? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, like what they're trying to say. And here's a good comment from Missy. Don't you find it weird that someone has an issue with Baldoni, meets with Sarowitz, and he goes on a tangent about Blake and Ryan? It's a setup. I agree. To me, it seems like
I think it's a setup. But it's like Kay Bella has said, you know, what if the recording wasn't even about Blake or Ryan? That's possible. But I mean, the quote they provided does have Blake and Ryan in it, but we don't know what led up to the conversation. We don't know how we got there. It could have been just a throwaway comment.
Well, it's going to be a problem. I mean, if this is not admissible, like Nag, said, then they've been using this Hamas quote thing for so long in this whole lawsuit and so many filings And
it got his, it got him. Steve Sarowitz was the one that ended up with a genuine threat from that quote.
oh yeah,
The
exactly.
$100 million quote. Anyway,
Exactly.
he's the one that ended up, someone attempted to extort him under threat of kidnapping his daughter. He had part of his home, someone attempted to set fire to his property. And Blake Lively's concerned about the identity of a witness, a non-party, which, by the way, she did not extend to, in particular, Cassidy.
Oh yeah, well, or to most, I mean,
For
the
most
privacy
people, but
issues
in
on the
particular,
docket
Cassidy.
were non-existent. I mean, they basically doxed everyone that was a non-party. And now all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, we don't want to share anything more to protect this person. But then in the Rolling Stones article, it says that this person would be someone who would testify at trial. So eventually we're going to know who they are. You might as well rip the Band-Aid off now.
Okay, so Boccegohawk did a deep dive and checked out declarant. Checked out declarant. Darren Statt. Now I've heard that name, but I don't know where I've heard that name.
I have no idea who that is.
She's good at her deep dives as well. I love watching.
He works
her.
at CAA.
Yeah.
Or no, he's part of CAA. Sorry. He's represented.
Okay.
Wait, it says CAA exits talent agent. Oh, he's a talent agent? I mean, I don't know.
No, it's interesting.
And then ACC said, I feel like I lose brain cells when hearing arguments from Blake Lively. Steve Sarowitz even clarified that he was speaking figuratively, yet she still said in her depo that she was scared for her safety. And I know, that's what's so funny. It's like he was obviously speaking figuratively. And he also said, if anyone comes from my studio. And it's like, was she scared because is she now admitting she came for his studio? Like, yeah. It's just, I don't know. And I don't really understand what they're doing here. I mean, should we go on to the next filing just to show how crazy this is? I mean, with the whole sourced intelligence, the PI.
Intelligence, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the private investigation firm that
we got it. I'll share screen now, actually.
And so I don't know if you guys, the chat remembers, but last time Leanne and I spoke about this, I found out that the magistrate judge, on stream, was the same one that was the magistrate judge for the subpoena on Brian Friedman's law firm in Los Angeles. And he just bent over for Lively and sent that over to the New York docket like she wanted. Then we saw him here again, and this is for the PI firm. And once again, he's just like this. I cannot stand this guy. He kicks it over to New York. And Leanne and I said, the next time we hear about this filing or this, the subpoena, it's going to be in New York. And here we are. We're in New York. And oh my God. What did he find? New York. Yeah.
But I hold a little bit of faith. I liked this argument from Sourced Intelligence, actually. I thought it was a really good, strong argument because Lively just came in and said, well, look, Judge, you've allowed all of these other motions to compel. So, and without any kind of, without passing out the differences, she just said, look, because you've allowed it with Coslow and Case and with Skyline, you should just give it to us again. You may as well just stamp it now. There's no point even, talking about it anymore. But what was it? They come back and they were like, well, no, hold on. This is different. We were hired by the council, by Brian Friedman's firm.
Like many law firms hire.
Yeah, like this is quite a normal thing. They law firms often hire these investigative firms to help trace witnesses or find out various information, do background checks, financial checks, all kinds of things. This is absolutely normal. Why she is treating it like it's not is wild. But they never communicated with anyone other than the council at Friedman's firm. And they just did their kind of investigations and reports, and that's it, right? And what they're saying is, look, this is different because these communications and reports would not have occurred without the Wayfarer attorneys, and also the Skyline, right? So they start with Skyline. Skyline order did not address claims of work product, right?
And if people don't remember, Skyline is they're the web hosting company.
The web host, yeah.
It has nothing to do with this private investigation firm at all.
Yeah, this is completely different. They're also, I mean, then there's also the Kozlow and Case, who were the employees of the PR firm, of Melissa Nathan's PR firm. So completely different. But they have detailed here why the Kozlow order to compel to produce documents was different, and some excellent points made. And then they kind of finish up and say, look, at the end of the day, Lively is just speculating. She has not identified a single fact to suggest that we were involved in the media campaign.
Yeah. And also the source intelligence, no, not source intelligence, sorry, the Skyline one, which we learned from the Signal chat, literally was just hosting 2 PDFs that were from court documents. So it wasn't this wasn't any sort of campaign or anything. It was just them putting 2 court documents as PDFs on a website.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they're trying so hard to use the Skyline, Signal chats and whatever with, Kozlow and Case with the PI firm for Friedman. I can't connect those dots in my head because I don't know what they're trying to do here.
No, I'm not sure either. I don't understand this. I do think I feel that there's a stronger case here for Liman to say no to this one, but I don't have the greatest confidence that he won't rule in Lively's favor again. That's where I am now. But one thing that was of interest to me, to you, and I think to most people was this. Where is it? This. Can we still see this? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so about the filming, being.
So yeah. So, and this is not the first time I've seen Lively change her story from one docket to another. I think I regularly cite the wording she uses in her New York complaint when she talks about the birthing scene and she's nearly nude. Yeah. And then when you go to Texas, to the Jed Wallace, lawsuit against her, which she's filing motions to dismiss. In her motions to dismiss, in that docket, she describes the same scene, but she is nude, entirely nude, like from the waist down. So we get a very different picture, and it's almost like she amps up the allegations. And I've always speculated it's because Wayfarer are not in Texas. They're not there to file something and say, well, hold on a minute, that's not true. And Jed Wallace cannot speak to it because he was not there. So it's almost like
that's just really funny.
Advantage, forgetting that people like me sit and look at both dockets.
Yeah, and like also both lawyers, shared the deposition of her. Their question. I don't know this whole thing.
I'm sure she got pulled up about it, but I feel like this is just more of that now. So
now the smear campaign, the retaliatory online smear campaign, began during filming
and promotion of the film and continues to stay. But the thing is, right, is where her actual lawsuit is for the retaliatory smear campaign. This is not that docket. So she's alleged in under her own lawsuit that and in Texas, by the way, with Jed Wallace's, that the retaliation began sort of sometime in, I think, around the end of July, start of August, that sort of time. So, but now here, I mean, this makes no sense, right? To be alleging. I know there is a problem with proximity, like the retaliation that she's claiming is more than a year from when the protected acts were she's claiming alleged to have occurred, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Because you can't, if it's too far away, which I believe over a year it should be, in this case, then she can't really argue that it's retaliation.
But
So
they do this
she
all the
has to do
time.
something about that.
They do this all the time, I feel like, her lawyers, and they get away with it. I don't know how. And I mean, it's not like they didn't know Lyman would see that. Well, maybe they do know Lyman won't actually read the stuff, and because they knew that this was going to end up back on his docket eventually,
Exactly.
because they always get their way, and they must, I mean, it's just like they obviously don't care to just like do something like this and to say it continues to this day. Okay, well, Lyman already said you have a cutoff date of like February 2025.
Yeah, the
So,
18th of February.
Stop harping about it going on to this day.
Do you see a problem though with her alleging now that the online, specifically it says online smear campaign beginning during filming, which was, May 2023, right? Melissa Nathan and Jed Wallace, right? Bearing in mind, Wayfarer clearly didn't orchestrate them directly. I don't believe they did at all, but they didn't orchestrate, and she's never alleged this anyway. They didn't directly orchestrate an online smear campaign. They hired someone to do it, but they didn't hire that person until more than a year after the filming began. So how was this online smear campaign going on without Jed Wallace?
And logically, it doesn't make sense. Why would they try to tank their own movie while they're filming it by smearing the lead actress? Like it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I mean, that's why I keep thinking that, Wayfarer is going to prevail because they're getting towards the end here. And I mean, I don't know.
Emma.
Like even with the Signal chat, I mean, why did they bring that in again? I don't even know what that was for.
Well, no, I haven't quite figured out what the Signal chat, the purpose of
why
it
did
is.
they bring that
Because
up?
actually, the stuff in there, I'll if I go to my ex, I'll tell you what, I'll go to the Signal chat.
I thought it was one of like the most endearing things I've read. I mean, because obviously you have some like non-tech people, maybe boomers. I don't know how old Jamie Heath is, being like, can we just load the document like it's, like a phone statement when how I can pull up my PDF and like, and then you have like whoever the person Rosa was like on the other doing the website and being like, because the thing was is like they didn't want this. They could have made this look super polished and nice. They could have done that, but they didn't want to do that. Like they wanted no room for speculation. Like they took the documents that were filed through the court, and that they got their stamp. So they're using that, and that makes the quality go down. And so that was also part of the problem. Whatever, they figured it out in the text, and they were so nice. I mean, this is like they were dealing with something so stressful. Like I've worked in crisis PR before, and like you could every single text that has to do with something like this usually has like some F-bombs dropped or whatever. These people were so nice and encouraging and like and then remember you wanted me to remind you about the Terminator. I mean, they call
well, we'll come to the Terminator because that's right there. But I wanted this comment from Jamie Heath for me completely undermines her allegation that this website, at least, because this is what these messages are talking about, but it undermines her allegation that the website was part of the smear campaign. He's literally telling you, right? Bear in mind, at the time he wrote these messages, I don't think they believed they would ever be seen. But he's saying we're not monetizing off it. It's simply a landing page to have access to legal documents that are already public. So let's go live. They're not sitting there going, I wanted to make her look as awful as I can, or anything.
Well, and
there is nothing on there about
down.
What is on the website is literally what he says. It's the legal documents. Nothing more.
When you sorry.
I did like this though, leaving off the emoji.
Sorry, I just lost it. Oh yeah, so if you keep going down though, there's at some point where it says like the other, people with different views are talking, and he's like, let embrace everyone. Like that's
Oh
great.
yes,
Like
the law. Oh, is it Baldoni Pals or something? The Reddit.
yeah, they asked if like they wanted to add any like other accounts to like counter like some of the, other narratives that people had different opinions, and he's like, no, let's embrace everything. Like I think I have it on my X. It was like
I think I got it. Yeah, let those who need to express a disdain for us and love for the other team do it and wear proudly. They're allowed. Just as we love when people sing for us, some will sing for them. Bring it on. We're not dissuaded or even affected. Have at it. And that's exactly it. There's nothing in here. There's a bit of snark, which I enjoyed with the, oops, I forgot to, add the emoji, the upside down smiley emoji.
yeah, exactly.
And Friedman with his suggestions for the names and
It ends
things,
with
saying,
truth.
no, let's not be theatrical.
Yeah, and I just thought it was everything, it was like so positive, and it just like what a, oh God, what an awful smear campaign. They said embrace the voices of both sides. Like
Well, I've
everything
been
they're
smeared
putting on the
worse.
docket is making Wayfarer, like everything that Lively is trying to unseal and be like, smoking gun, it's backfiring like spectacularly. And
I feel like I got smeared worse by Lively during this lawsuit than she has by these guys.
yeah, and it's like it just everything. Even with the declaration, it felt like that seemed like a setup to me. She's the one who keeps coming off as the one who's smearing them. Like this was just seems like they just want to get their truth out. They want to put the two documents. They didn't want any, like you said, any production, anything theatrical. They just wanted to get their truth out. And then you could see how shocked they were. Like, ooh, I love the internet. We got 85,000 views already or something, and it was very endearing. It was a very endearing conversation. Like I liked these people.
I do. So yes, we did notice that. I had to go through a few messages just to make sure, but it does appear that they do refer to Brian Friedman as the Terminator.
Yeah. So
which I think's I think that's adorable. It's quite fitting. It's not unusual for like quite fierce and passionate counsel to have these kind of names, like the Rottweiler, the Pit Bull, or something like. They get a reputation. Brian Friedman certainly had a reputation that spoke volumes, and it was clearly very friendly with him. I thought it was cute. What do you think?
yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe it's like because one of the Terminator famous quotes is like, "I'll be back" or something like that. So maybe they were like, doing something like funny. I don't know how we got that nickname. But I think, yeah, to me, like they had such this positive attitude in such like a stressful situation and having the glitches and whatever, and they did not even have any swear words. And to me, I said like it reminded me of the Lion King, the Hakuna Matata song, and how they were all just like dancing and that's what it felt like when I was reading these messages. I felt like they were just like Hakuna Matata, like everything's gonna be fine. We have our truth out and like embrace the other side. And it was just in good spirits. And it's crazy that like she's using this to be like, oh, look, this was their retaliatory smear campaign. God forbid they like post these public documents, on their own landing page.
Yeah, no, exactly. And we loved it too.
And meanwhile, she's just, this was coming from someone who just did the biggest hit piece on them right before the holidays in the New York Times.
Yeah. Well, exactly. That's exactly. Cassidy was right. Blake Lively comes across as aggressive and angry. Justin's team leads with amusement. They certainly are amusing. Although I got to say, I think Jed Wallace's attorneys are even funnier.
Yeah, they're great.
Honestly, I live my best life when I'm dealing with their filings. And probably because I have to deal with whiny Gottlieb and chest thumping Ezra. Do you know what? Robin, I did see Ashley's. that was so funny. I said to Ashley, the only way she could have made that funny if you had like a bit of footage of a duck quacking and then like a goat doing like a, I don't know what they do, bear or something like that. And then just but Ashley was narrating the back and forth. But I was highly amused by that, and I definitely recommend going to see Ashley's reading of it. It was funny.
Well, and speaking of dramatic readings, one of the most famous dramatic readings of this whole case so far has been Perez, how he would have the dramatic readings of his own filings. And, and he has like now that his subpoena has been dropped, and in my opinion is a huge win. Good for him.
Yes.
And now that like that is done, it's the kind of the end of all of these like content creator subpoenas, which was her argument was that like they were part of this, paid smear campaign. So now that argument is kind of like collapsed. I mean, I think the only one still pending is in Florida for Andy, I think. But like the rest of it, and she subpoenaed Megyn Kelly, who, if you haven't seen that rant yet, I highly recommend it. She just goes at Blake Lively.
Oh yeah, she really goes bananas. That was amazing. And she channeled, I think, everything that I think we all on some level wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us come out effing and blinding, others didn't, but that's okay.
Someone told me a funny comment. They're like, it looked like she was trying so hard not to like say words that would, get like a strike on YouTube. Like she's like, she's a bully, brat, blah, 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 narcissistic liar. And then she's really trying to argue that anyone who has anything negative to say to her is on the payroll of her enemies, which it's true. And it makes no sense. But now that all these subpoenas are pretty much gone, just makes her argument look worse. So I'm guessing
it's just Andy's now, isn't there? I mean, I think the reason they're kind of sticking with Andy a bit longer is he's obviously got the documentary. He's been very kind of open about the fact that he's had conversations with cast and crew for the documentary, and I think she wants to get to that information.
Oh, I know what I was going to say though about Perez. Sorry.
Yeah,
not only did he win, but so I don't know if you saw like his video, I think it was like 2 days ago now, where he said according to his source, his exclusive source is that like, Baldoni and Wayfarer have already seen these texts from Taylor Swift, which we know that they were, the judge ordered for them to turn them over.
Yeah.
But we don't know. And they also, Wayfarer has said that they actually didn't get anything from Swift, remember, in another filing. So I'm guessing these had to have been from Lively. But I don't know. But they said that they've seen them.
So what they actually did, they were really clever with the wording actually in that filing. They both them and Taylor Swift's lawyer, they all specifically said no documents were exchanged. They were quite specific about that.
No documents work. So maybe they just looked at them.
Yeah, possibly, or they agreed to something else. Like something verbal. It may have been because everyone's like, oh well. Even Lively was like, well, they Wayfarer subpoenaed Taylor Swift, then they withdrew it, and now they're gonna subpoena her again. But the first subpoena was for documents. It was not for a deposition. So that's a different thing entirely. So Lively was compelled to turn over the text to Taylor Swift. So the text that Wayfarer has seen are from Lively.
Yeah, so she was compelled to turn her text with Swift over to Wayfarer.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to Swift. Okay. And then, so they must have them by now, I'm guessing, if they haven't filed anything.
Oh, yeah. I would think that they have. I would think they have, because that would be why they wanted to do a deposition, right? Is they've got to, the Wayfarer would likely have wanted some clarity from Taylor Swift. Well, what does this mean? Can you confirm that this is what was said? And they will want to have asked questions about that. I mean, they can still proceed without the deposition if they got the text messages, because the text messages are coming from Lively anyway, and they can ask her the same questions.
Elizabeth Wilson asked Candace what happened with that one. So I think that hers, because remember when she said her lawyer said to wait to see if they would get something, the same info from Wayfarer and the
Yeah, they've been on
employers.
hold.
So now that they did get that, and that was the reason they wrote when they withdrew the subpoena for the Nevada docket for Perez. They said they no longer need it because now Wayfarer has turned over 80,000 pages of documents, blah, blah, blah. And so they are going to have to do the same with Candace. I think they wanted their withdrawal from Candace to be quiet as well. And so that I'm just guessing that hers has gone away. And like, they were never going to get anywhere with her. I mean, she's taking on like the president of France or whatever. Like she has a lot bigger things she's dealing with. She doesn't care about their stupid subpoena. They would have beat it. And just like they withdrew everyone else's subpoena. So I'm sure Andy's will be gone soon as well. There was another comment or a question up here I thought was good.
I was just going to quickly, because Rose Wild has asked, why do you think Billy Bush was not subpoenaed? And the honest truth is, I don't know.
I had a good answer. Jane from X, she said, Guardian Jane.
Yeah.
She said because he's related to like 2 presidents. And they're like, try subpoenaing him. Like it would have been a really bad idea.
I don't know. I don't see that being a barrier myself.
I mean, maybe not, but I think that they would have what is it? F and find out, F around and find out. I think that if they had gone for him, I think that's
I have no doubt he's got friends in high places. But I mean
2 presidents.
But they're not sitting president. Not one of them's not the sitting president. I don't know.
They're not sitting, but like I mean, they were, they're still like extremely powerful. They know people. Like
Which
I don't know.
presidents are they? Are they still alive?
I forgot what she had said, but
I don't know. I just found that. I think that's a bit wild of a thought process. I'm not saying it's not.
He's the nephew of George W. Bush.
Right.
George H.W. Bush. And then he's the first cousin of, George W. Bush. So, the 41st president and the 43rd president. So
okay, one of them's dead though, isn't they? Like the senior isn't he?
Maybe, but still. And then that means that he's also the, cousin of like Jeb Bush, who was the former governor of, I mean, he's just, I don't know. I just think that some people you kind of don't want to mess with. And with this thing that I don't feel is legit, I feel that's why they didn't. And God bless Billy Bush, because I love that he's like having Elsie on, and she's getting her, even a bit, she already had a huge platform, and then it just is getting this even bigger so people can see the other side, because I don't know what's going to happen at this point. It does feel like her lawyers are just, going for broke. Everything feels like a Hail Mary at this point. It's just like, what can we do for PR? What can we do to try kind of like, just how far can we push Liman? How far can we go with this before the deadline, where I think we're going to see Wayfarer file the motion for summary judgment, because there's no case here.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. Missy, you might be right. He probably is. However, Jane does make a good counter argument as well. It didn't help him when he was cancelled. It could well be his connections, his family ties. It's hard to know. And I've seen nothing. I like to see things on the docket that tell me this is what it is. Well, I don't love speculating, but if I had to speculate, I'd say that's a pretty good reason.
Well, and speaking of connections, I don't know if you saw my post on this, but I had gotten this like anonymous tip that Lyman's father, Judge Lyman's father, was like a big time Hollywood lawyer, which I didn't really realize, because for some reason, I knew about his brother being a big time Hollywood director and having a lot of like pull with Hollywood, but then the dad was like BFF with the CEO of Time Warner and was like the head lawyer for Warner Brothers. I mean, like the dad wasn't just like, a lawyer, just like a random lawyer for random stars. I mean, it was like the entire studios. It was like, and like Doug Liman, the brother like had, you know, spoke about how he would like became friends with Spielberg and fly on his plane to go to California with him and stuff. And like, I don't know if that has anything to do with Louis J. Lyman, the judge, you know, maybe, who knows, maybe he had nothing to do with any of his father's Hollywood stuff. It does say that he did work at his father's firm for like 2 years or something, but we don't know on what. But I just feel like he is a little, you know, biased, maybe because.
I think I agree. I mean, I do feel like he's definitely leaning towards Lively. There's some decisions I don't like and I don't agree with.
Yeah.
And I do feel like, you know, I mean, Lively kind of said it herself in her joint stipulation with sourced intelligence, you know, how many where is it? That Wayfarer, they have a broad definition of privilege, and the court has already rejected most of them. You know, and when she says the court, we're obviously talking about Liman.
Yeah.
So she points out, you know, this is it. Given Liner and the Wayfarers parties' expansive views of privilege and protection, many of which the court has already rejected. So she does actually point that out herself in the filing, that Lyman does not make many decisions that go in Wayfarer's favor. And I think Wayfarer know that anyway, because you're seeing them more and more, where possible, quoting case after case after case that is Judge Lyman's.
Yeah, exactly. And
like, it's normal, it's quite normal and good practice actually to quote the occasional case in a filing from, you know, from the judge you're sort of writing to. However, I think one filing, I think it was a 2-page letter, had like 6 of Judge Lyman's citations in
well, in Judge Lyman's own ruling, like where he granted Lively the extension to for her deposition of Steve Sarowitz, and then denied Wayfarer's extension to have the deposition for Taylor Swift, and that his own filing that was like little less than 4 pages, he cited his own case, the furry puppet case, 4 times. And like, I have this ongoing joke, like anytime you hear furry puppet get referenced, like take a drink, take a shot, because it's like his most, I don't know, like renowned case, and it's been cited, I think, the most out of any citations we've had. But like, he did it 4 times in his own filing, and I'm like, is he playing a drinking game with himself? Like, is he at happy hour just doing these rulings for her? Like, is he buzzed on Betty Buzz or Betty Booze, whatever it's called? It's insane. And
so Joe's asking, can Taylor still be called on the witness stand even if she wasn't deposed? Technically, yes, she can. So that it's not, we're not at the end yet. I mean, yeah, we're not at the end yet. So we've still got is it 11 days to get a deposition done? So, you know, maybe they'll do something. I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, they also brought on the two new lawyers that Wayfarer did, Shapiro and
yes,
the other one. So I don't know if that is to prepare for appellate issues already, but good on Wayfarer. I'm glad they're fighting back. I'm glad they're not just like rolling over, and I hope justice prevails.
I absolutely do too. So people wanted to know a little bit about the new lawyers.
I know they keep saying it's Diddy's lawyer. I was like, well, she's very established, worked for, you know.
I mean, I don't read too much into that. I don't read too much into Melissa Nathan was Johnny Depp's PR crisis manager. Yeah, all that tells me is these people take on famous clients.
And also they won. Like, really, Diddy, considering what he was up against, usually like the feds always win, they say. Like, if you're up against the feds, you're going to lose. They have like a 99 point something % win rate, and they lost with Diddy, really. I mean, he got like only, you know, was it 2 of the charges or something? So out of how many? And he also hired, like, I don't know, 20 lawyers, 20 of the best lawyers. So whatever, it happens. Like people need to get past that.
I mean, there's no doubting these two lawyers are extremely good. They have great reputations. And oh, my dog's whining. Given that, I believe it's Alexandra Shapiro was the one who was defending Diddy. And, given that he was found not guilty of so many of the charges, she actually did a very good job.
Exactly. So
when it comes to whether I believe Diddy or not, that's irrelevant. Her job, her mission was to go in and put up a defense, and from that perspective alone, she was quite successful. Overall.
Yeah, and I think that if anything, I think that's a good sign. And today that the docket has seemed quiet. Like I think we basically did we cover everything that we knew up to now?
Oh, sorry, my dog.
It's okay.
So someone noted that one of the lawyers was an appellate lawyer, which is true.
Yeah.
And I think there's been a bit of speculation that this means that Wayfarer are gearing up for an appeal. That is not definite at all. That the fact that they've hired someone who has appellate experience, that's not a bad thing to do. But they are, the other person as well. I can't remember his name. The second
They
lawyer.
just got added to the Jones docket. Hold on, I have the name. It's Jonathan Bach.
That's it. Now, he is a very, very accomplished trial lawyer. But you got to remember that this case is going to be starting to prepare for a trial. The fact that we're 6 months away is rather irrelevant. So they will be bringing on, lawyers in preparation for the trial in March.
And I think it's a good thing to bring them on now, and maybe it will put Liman on notice. Like, hello, you have one of the best appellate lawyers, on the docket now. We're watching you, and it doesn't mean they're going to appeal. I agree, but it just like they're not messing around, and they're good for them. I hope they fight this to the end. I think they're in the right, and I'm just glad. I sucks for them, but to me, it just feels like It feels like Lively and Reynolds or whatever, it feels like they may have done these types of things so many times before, and they always have gotten away with it. And to me, it just seems like this is the first time anyone's fought back.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. And it's exposed a lot of things, a lot of people, and it sucks. But I think in the end, Wayfarer is going to prevail. I've said that this whole time. And I think no matter what happens, they'll prevail.
I think they will prevail. I think they definitely have the stronger case. In fact, that the biggest tell for me was when filing her motion for the treble damages and the fees, she had to go and get a declaration from someone else, from another person, about a problem that was completely unrelated to her claim.
And unfounded
nothing
problem.
Else.
Yeah.
That was like, for me, that tells me she has nothing.
Exactly.
Max has asked, Lively has also recently changed the defamation timeline. I wonder if this is to do with Jed Wallace soon to be dismissed, hence it's no initial smear campaign by him. I think it'd be interesting to see if she starts changing the timeline in her own claim, the Lively v. Wayfarer claim, because I think it became apparent through probably the lawyers should have known this anyway, but certainly so many people have been talking about this, that the proximity from the Protected Act to when she's alleging the retaliation started is a huge gap, and you can't just claim that everything someone does is retaliation, and that is unlimited and never ending. That's not how that works. So I'm guessing maybe her lawyer has kind of said to her, look, we may have a problem here. And that what maybe why we're seeing a shift in the timeline. But the thing is, people are not stupid. The public is not stupid, and they have noticed the story is now changing.
Yeah,
Will
Rose Wiles
Liman
is
notice it as well? He may not want to notice it.
I know. I feel like he has like the, the Blake rosy glass,
Oh, yeah.
rosy glasses on for her. Like, he just, I don't know what he's thinking. But I think that they get a lot past him. And Rose Wild said something like, that is a bad thing, DFJ, if this settles. Well, I wasn't talking about settling. I think it's good they're fighting it.
Yeah.
And I think it's good they fight it to the end, because I think these are the only people in the position to fight back, with the resources to fight back. Because I don't think anyone's would ever be able to fight back against these people. I mean, and you look at how they overwhelmed the docket with her lawyers, and she has an endless amount of resources.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
so I don't think that they're heading to settle.
No, nothing's telling me that I see
Yeah.
nothing either. Speaking of Rose Wild, why do we think Brian has not appeared on any filing or anything in many months? And do you think he'll be back soon? I think he's busy. He's got other big cases going on as well. He's definitely still involved in this. I just think he's keeping his head down, because anytime he opens his mouth, Lively is straight, got run into the judge with a new filing and asking for sanctions because he's smearing her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think he's just trying to avoid, any giving it Lively anything to kind of inflame the situation. And he's not out of this though. She is really pushing to silence him, and I suppose effectively it's working. It's like us with the content creators. Some of us content creators went quiet for a while after the subpoenas. I just had my 2 weeks where I just kind of needed to stop.
Here's the difference. By silencing Friedman, that gave way to Fritz and Ellen, and we got to hear all the other amazing voices that are, that have done filings that now and have taken over. So it's like, whatever, go for it,
But I mean, since because one of the filings, she accused Fritz then of smearing her as well. And if you notice, like, Ellen then took over from Fritz. So we're not seeing as much.
Yeah. So I think, we'll see what happens, because like we said, that the deadlines are coming, and for the end of discovery and the end of depositions, and then we'll see what happens from there. But it's probably going to still get more exciting. Today's been a quiet day, and thank goodness, like me and you, I think we're all caught up now on the past 2 weeks pretty much. And I don't know if you want me to tell them, but like, this is going to be like our last Friday, stream together like this, with both of our schedules are kind of crazy. So just look for us on X, because, whenever either of us are going to be streaming, I think we'll post on there or wherever. But both of us aren't really able to have a consistent schedule at this point.
Yeah, it'll be kind of ad hoc.
We'll keep on it. Yeah.
When we can get together, we will get together.
Yeah.
Which I do anyway with other people like Cassidy and Ashley and various things. Well, I kind of prefer that anyway. As I said, my schedule at home and the fact that I'm working to a completely different time zone is not always easy. And my family life took a huge hit because I was working so much. That's why I had to take 2 weeks where I just needed to spend time with my husband, spend time with my little girl, and just remember that I run on British time.
Yeah, exactly. And so we just I want to make sure we let you guys know that we're still both at least individually gonna try to get on when we can. And a lot of people have been so supportive when they found out I just lost my grandfather, and things have been crazy. My schedule's been insane, but this is a distraction that I really embrace and that I really appreciate. And I love this community so much. And so I'm going to try to, I'm going to get in when I can, and, hopefully get back to streaming. I somehow lost viewers even when I wasn't streaming on my YouTube. So, but I'm going to try to get back to it, and because things will be starting to pick up again soon. So, again,
we will do.
We're just glad that we got to at least have a little final hurrah and get both get our feet wet again and see the community again, and just let you guys know, we're still going to be covering this case,
Yeah.
And you'll see us around.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I will probably try to do a bit more streaming as things are coming down, because it's a lot to do the ex posts. They take much more of my time. So it's probably easier to just read the file and kind of say, oh, this is what I think, and this is what that means, and this is what might happen in real time. I've tried not to do that because other people do that, and I don't want to tread on their toes. But you know, at the same time, I'm kind of compromising myself a little bit.
Yeah, so you just have to do whatever's best for you,
Yeah.
and like, you know, and people will gravitate to whatever, you know, ways they like to, you know, pick up the information via X or YouTube or whatever. So we just like, I just like want to say thank you to you for, you know, starting like this, the teamwork, you know, our dual stream that we had, and I think it was like an amazing run. And I just thank you to the community and everyone. And we're both going to keep at it. So just keep looking out for us, and you can make sure you subscribe if you want to get like updates for whenever we're going to be going live again.
And just really quickly, this last question from Christy: how much of these decisions are Lively versus Lively's counsel? I believe nearly all of them are driven by the client.
I agree.
I think they've all, you know, I think Lively's lawyers are getting shouted at a lot. Do it, get it, I want this. And I think they are just doing it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I think, you know, they're just doing whatever the client wants. And I guess this client is,
yeah, absolutely.
I can't explain it, but I don't think they would be doing this on their own volition. So
no. Well, I mean, it could be a case of bad advice, but these are quite elite lawyers. So I would be surprised if they were given you know, all of this bad advice. Sorry, my dog is just now.
No, you should take your dog out. Take your dog out, and we can call it a day. And thank you, everyone. And I hope everyone has a great weekend.
Yes.
And stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you, DFJ, and thank you to my moderators as well.
Yes, thanks,
for all the hard work. Yeah, we'll be back when we.
We just got an update. Oh my God, Laura, you're killing us. She said Liman denied Blake's motion to compel. Wait, what?
All right, hold on. We're just looking for this. Is this on the source intelligence? Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So I can.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Share screen. So we're just going to go a little longer and just.
Your poor dog. Do you want to take your dog?
No, the dog. No, she doesn't want to go out. She's just wanting in the room.
Okay, so this is the source intelligence. So this was the one that was, remember, it was in LA. It got kicked to New York. And then now Liman apparently just denied it.
Right. So yeah, this is sourced in the source intelligence. This is a private investigation firm that Brian Friedman's firm hired, a perfectly normal, natural part of, you know, litigation. And how many pages is that? It's only 3. Right. Okay. So, right. So talk about this background basically. Transferred. Lively has not demonstrated that source intelligence is likely to have non-privileged information relevant to any claim in the underlying action. The basis for Lively's current request is that source intelligence was purportedly involved in an alleged online smear campaign against her in retaliation for her claims of discrimination. Lively, however, has proffered no facts to support her suspicion that source intelligence was involved in the conduct she alleges to have been wrongful. She states that only one of the agents who participated in the alleged smear campaign may be sourced intelligence, and that source intelligence may have engaged in the same type of online activity this court has already held is not privileged or protected. Mere speculation cannot support discovery. Lively further asserts that source intelligence was retained by counsel for the Wayfarer parties for the benefit of the Wayfarer parties, and that source intelligence specializes in reputation management and digital erasure. But source intelligence has submitted a sworn declaration from its founding partner that it was engaged by counsel for the Wayfarer parties only in late 2024 that it was asked to perform investigative services regarding certain persons or companies understood to be connected to the lawsuit liably filed against the Wayfarer parties, and that it prepared investigative background reports and provided these reports to counsel. The founding partner specifically denies that sourced intelligence performed any services related to social media monitoring, influence operations, digital erasure, or web monitoring, or that it performed any services connected to the digital campaign alleged by Lively. Furthermore, the only request for production in the subpoena directly targeted at efforts to seed, influence, encourage, create, purchase, manipulate, boost, amplify, facilitate, or engage with social media is request number 6, and sourced intelligence has represented that no documents responsive to that request exist. The motion to compel is accordingly denied. Well, what a happy note to end on.
Yeah, I think that is like a mic drop moment, like denied, sit down. So the private investigation firm is now, out. So once again, another subpoena bites the dust for Blake Lively, and I hope that she has the weekend she deserves for putting everyone through this.
Yeah, definitely. Well, at least that's what another subpoena she hasn't got and got nothing from. So yeah, on that note, well, and finally, kudos to Judge Liman for making a good decision.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I should, say
on
when
this one occasion.
On occasion, yeah. So thanks, Liman, and keep at it.
Yeah, keep at it, exactly. I mean, I did say though at the start of this, I thought it was a good argument. She can't go in and say, well, you allowed these subpoenas, you compelled these subpoenas, so I want this one. It's not an argument.
Yeah. So on that note, we hope everyone has a good weekend.
Oh, just really quickly, I just got to say, sorry, wrong one. Hello, Mama. I hope you have a great weekend too. VanZan, on the 27th, I think it's the 27th. I'm just floating this out there, but I think we have, I have an agreement with Lauren, with Cassidy, and with Ashley that we are going to do something together on VanZan, because that is the anniversary of the VanZan lawsuit.
Oh, that will be good.
Yes. So, and we were someone in one of my comments said, why don't some of you subpoenaed content creators come together and do something like a special or something? So we haven't. I'm still flashing out ideas, but we have kind of agreed in principle. Like Cassidy's up for it, Ashley's up for it, and Lauren, if she's in town, is also up for it. So I will keep you updated on how that goes.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I mean, that's my Roman Empire. I'm dying on that hill. I think VanZan should take down this whole case, but
well, if you're free, come and join us.
Yeah, that would be great. Well, I can't. Like I said, I can't commit to anything right now. But
no, you can't. But if you are free, though, let us. I will send you a link, and if you're free, by all means, join us. Alexandra, yes, bedtime for me too, also in the UK. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, DFJ. Thank you, mods, and I will speak to everyone soon. Yes. DFJ, are you on TikTok?
Yes, Law Nerds and Pawn Nerds, I think is my name, or just at Law Nerds, I think.
Law Nerds.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But I haven't posted on there in a little bit. I need to do that. But there's I have a lot of good trial clips on there if you want to check it out.
Thank you. And if everyone would be kind enough to like and subscribe and hit the hype button as well, that would be really helpful.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. See you all later.